Stay away from me.
This is our march. Okay, baby, we're ready to rock. Oh, so let's let everybody chalk up in and get on up in here. Oh, thank you everybody for joining. We are getting this rolling here. Tonight we're going to talk about the California audio show. And I will cover all your questions as well. I don't know that we'll touch on some other things, but we will see. I've got other things to touch on. Okay, so we will start out with Travis, who asks about Pure Audio Project. By the way, thank you everybody for showing up. I appreciate your all attendance. As you know, I'm Mikey, OCD Mikey. Contact me at 11stereo.com. Contact me via phone. Don't try and send me emails because I don't sit at my desk. I'm not a noob that sits at the desk. If you expect to have good communication with me, you need to call me because I build relationships with people and I do it best talking person to person. I'm far too busy to sit and sit and answer emails like that. So I don't do it. I respond to phone calls and I get phone calls all day long. So I hope you guys will contact me. Just pick up the phone if you want to talk. I will consult with you for free. I don't charge you to talk with me. Maybe one day I'll have to. But at this point, it's still free, so it's not a big deal. Subscribe to the channel. Give a thumbs up as a way to support this content. As you know, Mikey is the only guy that gives it to you straight with unpaid, unsponsored, no Patreon, no BS. I just tell you how I feel. And that's it. I'm just sharing my feelings from 30 years in this business, owning an amplifier manufacturer, having patents in cable design, and knowing all this stuff. So anyways, there's my little intro speech. I will get to you guys now and answer some of your questions. So you want to chat. Travis wants to chat about Pure Audio Project speakers. My thoughts. My thoughts on Pure Audio Project speakers are they're great. They are the only speakers, the open baffle speakers that I would endorse. I had Trio 15s. They're phenomenal. I like them. I like them the best with the Voxative drivers. Those are my favorite full range drivers. And then dual 15s. I really like that. I listened to them compared to the old spatial audio, and they were much more room involved. The spatials didn't involve the room. They kind of put you in this little pocket, which I get, but the Pure Audio projects were more open and used the backwave in the room as part of the cabinet, if you will, right? So it had a much more open, more effortless sound. The playback designs do. So I love playback designs. Do you have any more questions about playback? You know, you said chat, so I suppose that means back and forth. So go ahead, ask away. Let's go. Right on, Dan. Good to see you, brother. Hey, everybody. What's up, Wes? How are you, man? Good to see you, man. Any thoughts about Bach SP crosstalk software? I am personally not a guy that likes software. I don't like mini DSP. I don't like DSP. And I know it makes things perfect. Okay. It robotically not robotically, but in a computer fashion, makes everything perfect in the room. As I understand it, it makes it perfect for one person in one spot. Maybe they can move around, but it is not a unified listening experience, which is more what I prefer when I listen. Almost every time I listen, I'm with at least one other person. But that's not why I don't like DSP. I typically don't like DSP because it sounds manipulated to me. Now I'm open-minded, so if anybody wants to send me, that thing, but I've gone to the shows, I listened to it. Mini DSP. There's other things that will quote unquote correct the room, But Trinov was another one. That's probably the top of the line of the DSPs. Trinov. It's very expensive. It's very well thought out. I also have a DEQX, DEX, whatever they called it, from Australia. I've still got it. I don't use it, but I could still play with it. I'm not really interested. The less that I have to get in and monkey with stuff, and the less, the more I like it. The simpler it is to set up, the simpler it is to just do it. I'm into it. The more of I want to go into my listening room and relax and just have sit at my chair, control everything from my chair, and just not move. Really. I'm not saying that you really need to move with Bach. I have no idea. I presume you still don't need to move around. So typically in my listening sessions, I'm not a fan of DSP. It sounds contrived to me. It sounds like it's taking effort to do whatever it's doing. When I do things passively, I tune the room passively, it feels more effortless to me. And yeah, it's harder to do. It's absolutely harder to do. You can throw mini DSP on any piece of shit and it's going to make it sound a lot better, right? You can throw maybe Bach SP on any piece of shit too, and it's going to make it sound a lot better, I would imagine. That's my guess. I'd rather go the harder route of trying to really pick good components and match them together to make my killer sound. So, and then it just sounds effortless to me. So that's just from my experience. Competition, have no idea. Choose your man. Hi from the mountains of Colorado. What's up, James? How are you, buddy? Good to see you, man. Hey, Tribe. What's up, Lowell? How are you, buddy? Good to see you, man. Alex, Mikey, what's up, dude? Thanks to your recommendation a while back. I'm about Teal speakers. Yeah, Teals are great, man. Teal speakers are really inexpensive on the used market. They are very hard to dial in because they're very exact. Once you get a Teal dialed in, they're freaking phenomenal. They're really good speakers, and you can get a lot for your money. And yeah, on the cheap, just like you're saying. Only thing left is to wait to get a cheap DCS tag. Touche. I wonder how many other audio influencers will do live streams during this day and time. Who knows? Pick your man, it doesn't matter to me. Oklahoma here. What's up, Trav? Good to see you, man. Good evening, Tribe. Good evening, Shane. How are you, man? Good to see you, Shane, checking in from down under. Good to see you. Hey, Mikey, looking at Jeff Rowland 125, would it be able to drive? Oh, totally. The Maggie one with no problem. I've used it on 1.7s. I've used the 3.7. I've used the 125 on 3.7s. 125 is a little mighty might. That thing is seriously powerful. And it's built in typical Roland style, man. I mean, it is just, it works. It's a great amp. So it's a great. I've probably got 30 of them out there, and people love them. Love them. Hi, Philip W. Have any thoughts about FearTech plug-in clear line noise filters? Are those little things that you put in line on the line, like with a power cord, like in line? I typically don't like those things. I typically don't, because the reason is, once you start that, let's say you like that, it's good. Okay, so now you can put it on everything. Now you're gonna have 15 of them or whatever, 5 of them in your rig. And then let's say you tweaks work. You think to yourself. So you try the fuses, you put the fuses in. Oh my God, the fuses are good. Oh, and then you try the magical footers, put the footers in, and then you try the quantum dot thing or the quantum jizz on your thing, on your caps or whatever, and it's like, and then all of a sudden, after you've done all this crazy crap, one day you walk in and you go, something isn't right. Like, I'm not connecting with the music. It's super analytical and it's actually kind of bothering me. And then you don't know where the hell to go, okay? Because you've got 15 different tweaks in there. So is it the line filters reacting with the quantum jizz? Is it the, whatever these, things not being, are the fuses the wrong way? Maybe I need to flip the fuses around now that I put in the black magic or whatever. You know what I mean? I mean, it's like, so I typically completely steer totally clear of tweaks, including the plugin shit. I've had it. I've got a bunch. If you guys want tweaks, I've got a closet full. I will just sell them out at like pennies on the dollar just to recoup a little of the cash. But I don't like any of the tweaks. I've got Jack Bybee stuff. All of this stuff works. All of it changes your sound. But the idea is, do you want it to change your sound or not? It's like, you have to sort of make that choice, because a lot of times it will completely tune your rig. For instance, synergistic research has it does a certain thing, right? They have a certain house sound. So when you put all the synergistic research stuff into your rig, you get a synergistic research sound, which is cool because that's what it should do. It should give you what it promises, a different sound, and then stick and have that house sound. But I prefer to, you have to make your choice. Do you want your system to sound like the manufacturer of the accessories, or do you want your equipment to sound like the manufacturer of the components? I choose to let the components speak. And so I don't have all these little areas of what if, okay? I like to remove those areas of what if. And tweaks give you liability, areas of liability. They're just little areas that you just don't know. Is that thing reacting with the other thing? Certain speaker what manufacturers, they're like, don't use, someone was saying it the other day, don't use power conditioners with our stuff because it'll sound bad. I think if it was, I can't remember who, but many companies will say, like I saw, speakers don't use bare wire. They just have different things, but typically they don't want you to use tweaks. And I am sort of the same way. So that was a long answer. DSP is only applicable for subwoofers. Absolutely right. Okay, so if you're going to use it, which I don't, use it for the low frequency. That's the point that he's making, and it is a good point. So if you're going to use DSP, which I'm not going to, use it for the subs only. It works terrific to, especially if you have phase and it does automatic phase alignment. Then it's killer. You just press a button, boom, it checks your subs, and it will make them work. But not always is the mathematical thing what sounds the best to you. So I'm old school. I may be doing it wrong, but I like to make it sound good to me. And I don't care how it measures. I care how it sounds. So I'm one of those weirdos. Glenn Passaretti says, hey, Mike, quick question about Fischer speakers. They weigh a ton. Yes, they do. How are they shipped? Freight. On pallets, in crates, and not on pallets, in crates. I have big wooden crates that they come in. Is there someone who can do the install? Talking about 1,000.1s. Yes, Glenn. If you order 1,000.1s from me, I will come and meet you there and put them in. I do that for anybody. Once they're in the $100,000 range, I will show up. I mean, and it's not because you paid the money. It's more so because I need to make sure you're getting your money's worth, right? There's no way I'm selling you $100,000 worth of goods and I'm not there making sure it's giving you 100% of its capability. So you don't need, if you buy the 1,000.1s and you buy a rig, even if I will make sure that they show up. I will, help you. We'll get piano movers. There have to be movers, we could move them in, we can move them in with the proper dolly, like the 1,000.1s. My girlfriend and I, God bless her, brought in those 1,000.1s, and she's not a bodybuilder. She doesn't go to the gym. So, and we did it on our own. So that gives you an idea of how hard it is. Typically, if we're going to a house, and the 1,000.1s, we're going to put on casters, and we're going to find the proper spot in the room, and then we're going to take them off the casters. And that's really how we do that. But when you buy 100K plus, I'm going to show up and make sure that they're set up properly. So and you don't, everything will be in the quote. It'll be shipping, soup to nuts. I handle it for you. And that is my expertise, actually. FNF says they are tri-wired. What is your recommendation on amplification? Okay, so I'm about to figure that out with the 1000.1s. I have not put them in the room yet because I have to go to the California audio show in a couple days. And I'm not going to, I want to do some things to the room first before I put these 650-pound Goliaths in and set them up. Because once they're in, there's, I'd rather work on the room while they're out, right? So that's going to happen before I put them in. Once I put them in, I am going to try single amplification and bi-amplification. Bi-amplification, you just use, what I'll probably do is do a vertical bi-amp. I'll put a stereo amp on each side and use one channel for the lows, one channel for the highs, and then do the same on the other side. That is usually my favorite way to set up, is a stereo amp on each side. So I will probably start with a Donizetti on each side because it's a stereo amp. A mono block, I can do monos too, and the Fischer and Fischer owner likes one amp running or one channel running them, but I like two channels typically. So I'm going to try it both ways, and then I'll let you know. I'll let you know after I try it. Bach SP, not for everyone, and this is coming from someone who has it, okay? But Mikey, if you're in town, invite extended anytime. Where are you, Lowell? Massachusetts? I can't remember where you are, brother. So let me know, man. I think you're in like Portland, aren't you? You're in Pacific Northwest, if I remember correctly. And I'm going to be proud of myself if that was a good recall. Shane has it. You've got a Bach SP ADIO in my room currently for review. It's the first one in Australia. I have some videos coming out about it after I put it through its paces. Okay, cool. So we'll wait for you to do that. We'll look for that. Everybody go to Shane's if you want to see Shane's review. And Shane is no flunky. Like, he knows his shit, right? He's part of the Hi-Fi Tribe, approved dudes, right? Okay. So so check with Shane and you'll get a little bit more about that. Thank you for the feedback on the Pure Audio projects. I'm at the point where I'm trying to find speakers that I could tweak at times. Crossover, center driver, Vox. Okay, they're perfect for that because the crossover even facilitates that. It's got screws where you can put the caps in. You just unscrew it, pull them out, put in a new one. You can listen to a different cap. They've got little jumpers where you can jump sometimes the different gain, or not gain because it's not gain, but different like dB of padding. It goes through a different resistor insofar as attenuation a little bit. So some of those crossovers will attenuate. And then of course, like you said, you can pull out those speakers, the center ones, put in horns, put in different drivers. You can make your own baffles. You can make them a little wider. I made the baffles like a ½ inch wider on each side. And it got another octave of bass. Like, it went down another lower octave that I gained. It was crazy. So there's cool stuff that you can do with that. Mikey has a point on DSP at Shane. Looking forward to your review. Yeah, man, for sure. Big Fat Polly. What's up, Big? I already know I like you, dude. By your name, Big Fat Polly. I totally want to hang out and eat pizza with Big Fat Polly, for sure. Hey, Mikey in chat, I was wondering, has anyone heard the T+A DAC 200? No, I haven't. I think T+8 might be a little analytical for my taste. In the shows when I've heard them, seems a little analytical, and those are kind of a little. I lean a little bit more towards non-analytical. And there's a fine line with that. Like, I like resolute and I like definition. I just don't like where I'm analyzing the sound all the time. And T+A kind of triggers me, at least from my experience with it. But I'd love to hear. I think people like the product. Chris, how's it hanging, Mikey? Good, Chris. Do you have your stuff? I can't remember if you said you got. I think you got the DAC. The streamer shipped yesterday. or was it today? It was either today or yesterday. I think it was yesterday. It was yesterday. So streamers should be there any second, man. Yo, Tribe, Drago in the house. What's up, Danny? Good to see you, man. Brycaf, where can I see what the amps look like? Which amps? Which amps, brother? They're on my website. If you go to my website, you can see all the audio analog. Is that you're asking about the audio analog amps? They're made in Italy. They're really good amps. They will be on my on 11 stereo. I'm planning to get some Fischer and Fischer at some point. Not sure about the model. Yeah, well, we'll talk about it. We can look at what your dimensions of your room, and more so, it's like kind of how much bass do you want, you know? And how close are you sitting? You can get away with 470s if you're sitting closer. Like the 470s in the room at Capitol Audio Fest had more bass than we could handle, right? They were really good like that. In my room here, and you've been here, Dan, I hankered for more bass, right? Just a little bit. I just wanted a little bit more. And the 570, baby, they brought it, you know? So, yeah, I would say, depending on your room size, and we can talk about that. You could either do 470 or 570, you know, depending. Hey, Tommy, good to see you. As always, thanks for taking the time. You bet, brother. I am not sure if I will be headed up to Portland or not. That is a variable at this point. But if I don't get out there now, I would get out there probably during the Pacific Northwest audio show at that point. So don't lose faith. Massachusetts, you remember I'm in SoCal. Okay, you're in SoCal. Okay, so you are in SoCal. Where, man? In Los Angeles? If you're in Los Angeles, bro, I'm going to be in LA, Beverly Hills, Marina Del Rey. You know, if you're in San Diego, I'm not going to be there, unfortunately. I wish I was going to San Diego, bro, because I would be seeing Chris and you if you're down there. We'd be eating fish tacos. We'd go to Bachi Ristorante. We'd go to Sushi Ota. I remember my old haunts from there, man. It would be fun. Yo, Shane, I commented to your last post. Okay, cool. Hey, Dan, what's up, Dan? It's from Shane. My new MPD8 arrives on Friday. Totally stoked. Dan's yet another owner of the MPD8. I believe I have about 30 to 40 MPD8s in the field. It just keeps growing, and nobody sells them. Those things stay in the damn field, man. It's unbelievable. I never get them used. I never get trade-ins. The MPD8 sticks. It's unbelievable. Cool, man. I got my Jones on. I know you do, bro. It's coming. It's coming. Exciting times, mate. I'm sure you will. Yeah, for Dan, he will be stoked. Yes. Glenn, thanks for the info on the Fischer and Fischer. Definitely looking forward to what your recommendations are for amplification. Keeping in mind, I'm looking for less components and not more. Okay. So if you're looking for less components, we would want to go, well, shit. Okay. If you really want to go for the Kingpin less component, then you go for the Jeff Rowland Damon integrated. It's 1600 watts per channel. It will drive those, no problem. And just a single amp, and it's got everything on it. It's an amp. It's got a really good DAC on it. It is a preamp. It's got, so if you want to put phono with it, it can have a kick-ass phono pre on it. It is a killer piece. All you'd need to add is a streamer. And that is maybe another $4,000, 4,500 for the M Labs, which is a terrific streamer. And then you're good to go. You got one Kingpin Mac Daddy integrated. So that might be, you can just call me, Glenn, and we can discuss what the options are. Have I heard of Duretta? No. Is it DSP? Still trying to wrap my mind around a music server being used for input source over a high quality CD transport. I'm definitely old school and have a lot to learn in that department. Well, look, Glenn, if my word means anything, you have nothing to concern with. The problem with the CD transport is you've got a spinning disc you've got jitter, you've got tracking error. Yeah, there's a buffer and all that kind of stuff and whatever. But I found playing from a solid state memory, which is what happens when you play from a computer, it sounds better. You just need to have a DAC that's up to the task. And I've done comparisons. There may be some CDs that are, but an unlistenable CD is absolutely unlistenable. They're horrible. You can't even listen to them. But with the playing from a ripped CD, you can have that same thing and you just rip it. Sounds totally better. That's my experience from it. Hey, any update on Nat Magnetic? Missing it. Yeah, it's not ready. If it's ready, you'll know immediately. I was thinking of adding Bach to my office system since there is only one sitting position. Go for it, man. Tell us what you think. I've got people that think it's not that not all it's cracked up to be. And I've got people that are like, well, okay. So the guy that I have that says it's the greatest thing, he is notorious for telling me his new things are the greatest thing that you've ever heard in the whole wide world. He repeatedly has told me that over the last, 5 years I've known him. So who knows, man? You might want to try it if you want something to play with. Doretta is an audio protocol to carry digital. Very cool. Why? Why is it cool? What does it do? What makes it better than anything else? Let us know. Andreas does a pretty good disc spinner. I can attest to that. Cool. One stick down, Mikey. I'm breaking out a Cohiba Robusto stick next for the live stream. Sweet, man. Those are pretty killer. Audio Bliss. Hey, Mikey. Hey, Audio Bliss. What is up? Yeah, so I'm headed to the Bay Area on Friday. I am going to go to the Bay Area. I'm going to feed myself again because that's what I do. I spoil myself when I travel. It's the best, man. I'm going to go eat in Little Italy, compare it with the food that I had in Italy. In San Francisco, I'm going to go to Chinatown and get some brilliant Chinese food. I know that much. What else? I'm going to go when I get to LA, we're going to some world-class Jewish diners, which I can't wait for the pastrami sandwiches down in Beverly Hills. And LA, just LA is going to have a steakhouse. LA is going to have the best burger. I'll get some fish tacos in SoCal. This is what I get excited for. Like, I'm going there for a big audio stuff, but I'm thinking about the food. I'm more stoked about the food and the fellowship, the camaraderie. I'll be hanging with some cool people, seeing some good friends. I will be delivering some amplifiers. Some of the big, massive NAT audio monoblocks are going to NorCal, to San Francisco area, to the East Bay, actually. Another pair is going down to Beverly Hills. And so I've got great clients. I'll be making videos. I'm going to Dave's in Bakersfield, where we will see a TAD R1 system with the biggest, the giant. He's got one of, I will put Dave's rig up as best in USA. I'll put it up. We can play with that moniker, one of the best in USA. Let's put it up there. Let's see who can bring a system close to Dave's. And I'll be at some houses where we might be close. But I think Dave might have the balls. He's got a TAD R1 speakers. He's got TAD C. He's got 2 rigs. CE1TX. He bought from me a bunch of stuff, man. All the whole suite of playback design stuff, including the monster amp. I mean, Dave doesn't mess around, man. This is a guy, let me put it this way. This is a guy who drives a motorcycle that has a V8 Corvette engine in it. Do you still have that thing, Dave? I'm a little bit scared to drive it, but I probably still would take it out just to blow the pipes out a little bit to say, chalk it up. Yep, I've driven a Boss Hoss. But Dave's balls to the wall. I love him for that. And so his systems are no different. We will feature that. We'll feature his dog, Morty. I'm going to make friends with his Cane Corsa. Cane Corso, Mortimer, who is, I'm sure I'm going to love that guy. He's going to slobber all over me, but I'm not going to care. This is Jim Yeager. I hear you're staying with Ron in Beverly Hills. You are correct, Jim. How are you, buddy? Are you going to show up? If you're going to be, are you going to be with us up in San Francisco or East Bay? If you are, man, I was trying to get those gnats out there. I'll talk to you a little bit more. We're going to be, depending on the exact day that you're meeting, we'll change some things. But anyways, we'll be meeting with Ron. We'll be meeting with Gary from LA as well. It's going to be fun, man. We'll be hanging out. I can't wait to hang with everybody and have some dinners. And really, it's just more than anything, I love the fellowship. Japantown ramen is the best. Geez, I haven't been to Japantown in a while, bro. You just made me. You just triggered. You just triggered my thought of Fillmore. Japantown is down on the end of Fillmore, right where it connects to downtown. I got a funny story about. Oh my God, I got a funny story about about Japantown and driving by on Geary, I think it was. And I'd always see that. I'll tell the story another time. It's really a funny story. I was like, I'm not going to tell the story right now. It's hilarious. I ended up in this place and I was like, uh-oh, wrong place. I didn't understand what I should have read between the lines, and now I get it. And oh my God, I got to get out of here. But it was fun. Experience, man. I've had crazy memories, crazy experiences. I'll be over there next year, mate. We're going to run a mark in the front and behind the camera. You know it, man. We will. Let's do sushi. Okay, killer. For sure, man. We're going to be in California, brother. I will do sushi all day long in California. I know about California sushi, man. You get mango on your damn sushi. You get whatever you want, and it's always California sushi. I'm telling everybody who's watching right now, California sushi tastes different than sushi anywhere else. I don't know why. I don't know what they do. It's not that it's totally like different. It's not because some of it has mango. You can get it with mango. You can't get that here, right? But even if you were just to get a California roll or a spicy tuna roll or whatever, it tastes different in California. California sushi is the bomb. It is the best. So we're definitely, that's just like a great suggestion. Actually want a playback design model with DAC server and transport. Okay, that's a good piece. Then you just need to put it with an amp. So the playback designs model with everything on it would take care of your front end. And then we put it with a power amp. That's a beautiful, that actually would sound better. Look, there's no diss on the Roland, but that DAC isn't the same as the playback DAC, you know, and it's a good call to do that. I mean, it's 2 boxes. So if you're fine with that, we put the playback all in one with a kick-ass power amp. And then we just find you a big power amp, a single stereo power amp, and we just use one channel on each side. The speakers are 95 dB sensitive, so they're not bad, but they are, I need to get the exact curve, the impedance curve. I know they dip to 1.9, so we just put it with a fat high current amp, and there's plenty of those. So we'll get you something sick. Just get in touch, Glenn. And I'm telling you right now, with a name like Passaretti, I'm coming over for the meatballs, bro. I'm coming over for the sauce, for Grandma's sauce, known as spaghetti, brother. I'm available on the 20th through the 30th now. Okay, so that's great, dude. 10 days. Okay, that totally opens it up. Okay, sweet. So I'll get with you, Dave. And for sure. And we're having shrimp taco. Dave has teased me with the shrimp tacos that he makes. It's the family recipe. So we're going to do that down there. Where can we find Dave's rig? Who's Dave? Dave, am I missing something? Where can we find Dave's rig? Please expand. Will ripping CDs on a PC for playback get good sound? Absolutely. Paired with a good DAC. That is the paired with a good DAC is the crucial part of that sentence. So ripping CDs on a PC for playback, you need to do it with what's it called? DB power amp. And you rip it lossless. You can rip it to FLAC. I recommend archiving it to WAVE, and then the playback is phenomenal, man. And then you rip it, host it somewhere on your network, and then just play it back from wherever you host it on your network. And ripping CD, use DB power amp. You're the best, Mikey. Can't wait to do business with you. Likewise, Glenn. Absolutely, man. Totally. Killing me with the food orgy. I'm on a fast, bro. Oh, good man. Dude, see, that's what I do when I'm not living like the Roman gods. I do intermittent fasting too, man. Fast is really good for you, brother. I can attest for it. All you have to do is think about us humans. We're hunter-gatherers, right? And especially us men, right? We're the hunters, huh? And so when we're hungry, we get focused for the hunt. Hello? Doesn't take a genius, right? You need to be focused to hunt down an animal. And when your ass is hungry, you're going to get more focused because shit, you're hungry. Your spear needs to hit its mark, or your dart, or whatever, right? So do I like to be more focused? Hell yeah. So you keep yourself a little hungry all the time and you're much better focused. And so if you intermittently, so you do one meal a day, and then I can go nuts. If I have one meal a day, and then you stagger it. So I do sushi, you do sushi maybe one day, or sashimi, right? So you're not eating the white rice. And then you can do a steak or something. I rarely do steak anymore, but if I'm going to do a steak, it's going to be at a killer steakhouse, and it's going to be a bone-in ribeye, prime, fat, and I'm going to go all the way, So yeah, Boss Haas. That's right. It is a Boss Haas. He's got a Boss Haas with the Corvette. Right now he has what do you have? It's a 350 aluminum block, aluminum head. Like it's some sick thing. He had the 454. He said it was too much. Or the 427? Or was it 454 big block? Tell us, Dave. It was sick. He's got the LS2. He just said it's a Boss Haas with the LS2. He's still got it. We'll do a video, Dave. You can watch me. And I promise I won't say, watch this, because that's before anybody stacks. They say, watch this, and then they die. So I won't say, watch this, but I will. I'll bet you it'll burn. I'll bet you it'll leave rubber like in a black strip straight down. I mean, it sits flat. So I'll bet you if you go WFO, does it stay straight, or does the ass come out? Does the ass come out sideways on it? I probably won't do that. I'm not going to burn out. I will just go. Probably gingerly take it around the block and then bring it back and be like, thanks, dude. I'm scared of that thing. Team Mikey, let's challenge Dave's. Oh, Dave. Okay, now it's cluing to me. Yes, of course you'll see Dave's system. Let's challenge Dave's system. Seriously. Well, okay, Dave, do you have a dB meter? I mean, like loudness it's kind of stupid, but we'll challenge it. We'll run metal. Dude, one of Dave's favorite bands is Tool. Okay. Like he showed me his rock crawler that he had that was custom painted with Alex Gray over the whole rock crawler. I'm like, this dude is badass. Like his freaking toy has Alex Gray psychedelic painting over the whole. This dude is, trust me, this system we won't break it. We can't break it. It'll play louder than we want to. It will play every type of music and it won't hurt our ears. I can't wait to hear it because this was the dream system. Dave said to me, Mikey, what is the dream system? Let's cost no object. What is the dream system? Let's just tell me what that would be. I told him what it would be, and now he's got it there, and it's freaking awesome. So Dave is like the poster child for doing it to the max, and like no hesitation, no half measures, no shortcuts, all the way, full tilt. So it's super cool. My buddy has one, and it's been a mixed bag. Oh, he had the Boss Haas. Yeah. No, it's not supposed to be a turning. No, it's not. I get it. I'm a motorcyclist too. And I have a Ducati and a Harley, and they're very purposeful. Like the Ducati Diavol, you know, the cruiser, I find it useless. Somebody showed me, what did they show me the other day? Oh, a super tricked out 900 Super Sport, like from Super Cafe style, something you put in your living room. I'm like, a useless bike. Like, it's fucking gorgeous. I would love to look at it and you know, maybe take it to the coffee shop, but it's a useless bike. You can't use it. And it's 50 grand. It's artwork. It's a sculpture. Boss Haas being the big Chevy thing causing the turn heads. But yeah, it's not really, it's a dragster. That's what it is. It's a dragster. It's like a top fuel dragster. That's what I consider that thing. You can burn rubber in a straight line and everybody cheers. But that's it. You know, you're not touring on it. You're not hitting the turns on it. You're not, you know, it's got one purpose, and that's leaving the black rubber on the strip. Boss Haas motorcycle, Dave, unless I heard this differently. You heard it correctly, Trav. Dave's system is beyond belief. Yeah, Dave's system is the dream system. And we will bill it as the Hi-Fi Tribe, the crown jewel, right? It is the crown jewel. That's the crown jewel rig. And we can maybe we should do like a I don't want to say winner circle, because then it indicates there's losers. Let's say it's like the championship ring, or the ring of we'll come up with something that we call the group of the, you know, the crown jewels, or whatever. Maybe that sounds stupid because it sounds like family jewels, which are, you know, but we could say whatever we call it. We have a group of the high end, the high end, right? The ultra high end, where and then we can feature them and let people know. And it's like, this is us representing. It's Hi-Fi Tribe representing, Hi-Fi Tribe flexing, saying, look, okay, here's some of our top rigs. That would just be pretty cool. So once we get yours set up, Glenn, it'll be fun to do some videos, and I'll come and do what I'm doing. Dave did a good job setting up, but I'll come for the finalists and give it the stamp. Hey, Mikey, I've fallen so far down the Lynn rabbit hole. Really? That's interesting. I don't even know where I am these days. Enjoying your video since I found the first video of yours. Well, look, man, as long as you're happy, then applause. You know, that's all I want for anybody is happiness, and not to be chasing their tail. And if Lynn is delivering that for you, then super cool. They have a long history of excellence. I don't know anything about the product, but I think I would definitely choose it over name. I consider kind of Lynn and name sort of maybe lifestyle product. I could be wrong. But what is Lynn the one that I listened to in Germany? No, that was what is the one that's with Steinway? Is it Lynn and Steinway, or is it no, that's what's that one? Is it Lynn with Steinway? I'm brain farting. Anyways, so that was good stuff. Do I sleep well? I don't know. Why? Of course I do. I sleep awesome. No doubt. Cali Sushi undoubtedly rocks. It is so good. 502 Berlinetta Boxer. Is that what you're saying? 502. Oh, it was a 502 big block. Okay, so that was that was the big Haas that he had, a 502. Jesus. A 502 big block in a motorcycle. Scary. That thing must have been so hot to ride, man. It must have just burned your legs, bro. Just heat. I suspect everyone is wearing the Dave Olson. Yeah, they are. Recommended La Dolce Vita in Beverly Hills for Italian. Okay. Thanks, brother. I'm going to put this down because I have a steakhouse recommendation too. Let's see. I'm going to put this down because I'm going to look these places up, and then I'll ask my cohorts. But La Dolce Vita in Beverly, because I'll be staying there in Beverly Hills. And Ron has some places he wanted, his favorite haunts. Italian. Okay, so I mean, I'm going to believe Passaretti there. If he tells me it's kick-ass Italian, I'm probably going to tend to believe him. Ring of Honor. There you go. Okay, cool. The Ring of Honor. I love it. Ring of Honor. You just named it. We'll give him, you get the credit for it. Ring of Honor. So we call it the Ring of Honor. And then we'll have our group there with the top systems. Pantheon tier rig. There you go. Oh, Pantheon tier. I was at the Pantheon, man. Those places are crazy. I like Ring of Honor. That's pretty cool. No problem, man. I get that it's a long trek to add to California. I'd love to stick you on my system if you're ever in the neighborhood, for sure, bro. I will. I'll be there sooner or later. So that'll be cool. So yeah, so this will be fun. Headed up there. There's going to be a big Sound Labs room. I'm going to see Jose Ramirez of the Vinyl Doctor. So it'll be cool to see Jose. I will see Chris Stubbs, who is represents Sound Labs here in the United States, and they have some new speakers that are going to be there, some new electrostats, which will be very interesting to listen to. I believe that there is going to be a big Audio Note UK room, and so that should be interesting. And more than anything, it's just seeing my homeboys, seeing my family. Again, that's what I love more than anything. Sure, we can listen to hi-fi, but it's the fellowship is what I love more than anything. And that's what we do, what we really love to do in the hi-fi tribe. That's what I foster. So Lingdorf, there you go. Lingdorf, thanks, Eric. Eric got my back. Lingdorf was cool stuff. That stuff is good stuff too. Also, and I know the guy who ran the dealership, when I called it lifestyle, he didn't like that term because he thought maybe I was downplaying it. But I'm not downplaying it. Like Bang & Olufsen is lifestyle, but that's some kick-ass shit. But it's lifestyle product. I think Name is the same, and maybe Lin is too. I haven't looked at the Lin, so I don't even know. Nagra might even be. I wouldn't consider Nagra. Nagra is just that weird Swiss, like on its own island type thing, you know, which is interesting stuff. So yeah, so let's see. I couldn't agree more, mate. That's what makes it so fun. The people you meet around the hobby, for sure. It is a blast. So that'll be cool. My old stomping grounds. I used to live in San Francisco, so I lived there for a while, and so I know my way around there. It'll be cruising. I can get around. I don't need a map. I know where I'm going. It'll be pretty fun. Then we'll have to go up to Berkeley. We'll have to go to Chez Panisse, go to Alice Waters Restaurant, just because you have to do that when you're there. Maybe I'll see some audio stores along the way. I don't know. I don't have any. Nobody pays me for visiting their audio store. I don't do that. I'd rather just help out the community. Anyways, yeah. So that is that. What are we? 48 minutes. So we're coming up on an hour, and I'm gonna run in a little bit. But fire away with any questions. Oh, you know, I was gonna, and I'm gonna say this. I was going to take a look at this brand, see if anybody can remember. I can't remember the name. I think it starts with an A. It's from, people have been talking about it lately. And I want to show you guys, it is a poster child. Now, granted, okay, what I have to do is really, I'll shut up before I look at its full line. It's a company that makes DACs. I'm not going to tell you where it's from because I looked at their top of the line, and their top of the line was 40 some odd thousand, and it looked like a total not even close to $40,000 worth, and it's not from China. And I was gonna kind of poke fun at it, but what I understand is in this industry, sometimes they make a good company will make one top of the line that's the ridiculous price so that they can have it. Because if they don't have it, then they're the company that doesn't have anything expensive. So they kind of have to make one expensive thing to just hold that place in the market, right? So that people take them serious. Otherwise, people will discount them as, oh, they're the value brand. I don't have to pay attention to them, right? So they make a statement piece that is double what the next one down in line is. So you go from that one, you go down, and I'll have to look at their line to assess this. Their $40,000 DAC was ridiculous if I compare it to the $26,000 playback is so much more of a DAC, so much heavier duty build. and it's ridiculous. But I can't take somebody's top of the line. I don't think totally serious, because I realize that a lot of times that's a placeholder for the people that want just the people demand it, man. A lot of times they're like, and you're like, oh yeah, you want something more? Fine, let me make $150,000 DAC then, here. So anyways, so that's that. Thoughts on DSD versus PCM? Yeah, PCM blows chunks, bro. But there are some people that can do good PCM. Audio Analog, Ole Nielsen of Nuontech does sick PCM for $2,500. It's ridiculous how good it is for $2,500. Is the AA DAC for $5,000 better? Yes, it is. Here's another company that does killer PCM. It all has to do with the power supply and the output section. If you can make PCM tolerable, typically the problem with PCM is it gets fatiguing. Okay, so if you can make PCM non-fatiguing, it's a great thing. Both of those DACs have accomplished that. I've got many clients that can give that feedback. Anyway, so my thoughts on DSD is PCM. DSD is the closest thing to analog. It's why they archive the tapes in DSD. It's why DSD is the real audiophile's choice. But keep in mind, if you play DSD on a PCM DAC, it is not DSD. Okay, so you need to have a single bit DAC. And then you need to know your ass from a hole in the ground, how to design for DSD. Not everybody knows how to work with DSD. If they use just off-the-shelf filters and stuff like that, maybe you might not get the best result. But if you're Andreas Koch, who invented DSD for Sony, then you're probably going to get it right. So DSD, to me, even Mark Levinson says, and Mark Levinson has a scheme, which is DSP in his digital amp to correct for PCM. Andreas Koch just converts PCM to DSD. It's called transcoding. It's not an upsample or anything like that. It's something different. Transcodes it to PCM, and then and look, my thoughts about that. So DSD is far superior to PCM, but it doesn't mean discount PCM DACs. Okay, I haven't heard a good DSD DAC that's for $2,500 or for $5,000. It takes $15,000 for me to jump on board with the DSD plan, if you will. I can find better PCM DACs at the lower price range. APL DAC. APL is great. Okay, so there's a DSD DAC. APL Hi-Fi was my previous reference. And I love Alex, man. Alex Paychef is a good guy, and he knows me well, man. Alex used to make me a board, and I would modify DVD 3910s. Holy shit, you should have seen this mod that I had to do, brother. I would have to remove surface mount things with tweezers and hot air, and then wire little teeny wires into the little holes on the pads that were used for surface mount, rather, and run the wires across the board and put double-sided tape and stick this little clock board on. And I would modify the DVD 3910 and turn it into a sick 2-channel DAC using Alex's expertise, and he created a mod and showed me how to do it. That is super cool. Not many designers will create a total hack and then teach you how to solder it in, even though it was really intense work. Eventually I stopped doing that, thank God, because it was intense, man. And you do it for, I can't remember. I mean, I used to do it for peanuts because I used to have to fight tooth and nail for every $100. So I know Alex well, and I really respect Alex. He's a good guy. We're friends aside from just APL. APL was my APL Hi-Fi. It's out of Romania, right? Bulgaria. Yeah. Rachna's out of Romania. Alex is out of Bulgaria. And so mad respect. I do have an APL DAC. My old reference. Why can't I think of the word reference? My old reference that I have available for anybody to buy. It's right now, I think the current APL DSD MR is, I don't know, 35,000 euro or something like that. I'll sell this for 10 grand. It is a DSD MR version 1, I think. Or is it a version? It's a version. It's the first version, but it's got tubes and it's badass. It's got a big fat hand wound transformer, and it's like Alex builds stuff by hand, and it's beautiful, and it's a really good sounding. It is very close. It is 90% of what the Playback Designs is, but it doesn't have volume control. But if you have a preamp, you're in business. This thing is the tits, and so I love APL, man. I can't say. I think Playback Designs is a stronger value and a better sound. But hey, I've got an APL DSD MR for sale for 10G. Where are you able to get DSD sources, or are you sampling PCM to DSD? It is not sampling, okay? And everything that goes into the playback DAC is transcoded to DSD. So it doesn't matter what goes. I don't need DSD sources. Now, if I give it a DSD source, there is absolutely no transcoding going on. So it plays native DSD files natively. So if you play back a DSD ×4 on the playback, you've never heard, it sounds like tape. It sounds just like master tape. And I have master tape, and I've done comparisons. I have a way to play a tape and convert it to digital and play it back at DSD ×4 using Playback Designs equipment. So we can listen to tape, and then we can listen to DSD ×4, and it's indistinguishable. So everything that goes into the playback is transcoded to DSD, so we don't need to worry about it. I don't need to worry about getting DSD sources. Now, if I want to play back native DSD because I'm tripping on it, okay, and I really just want to trip on and get my yas out, you can go to DSD.com or DSDmusic.com, or you can, I mean, that way, or you can trade. Many of us have freaking ridiculous libraries of DSD stuff, and we will trade, or whatever. So there's no worries. But typically, when you buy a Playback Designs DAC, I was talking to a new client today for the MPD8, and once you use MPD8, which converts everything, you instantly stop caring about format. It doesn't matter what's coming into it. You no longer care what's going into it. You don't sit, you stop paying attention to the format. It doesn't matter because everything sounds freaking incredible. Everything sounds great. Is there a difference between DSD ×4 played natively and PCM? It depends, of course, on the recording. But I've taken my tapes and recorded the tapes digitally to DSD ×4 and played them back. It's crazy. So it's fun, but there's very little stuff that you have to worry about like that. And there is no worry. I've got that stuff in my library. Do I even look for it? I don't even care. It's there if someone wants to hear what a DSD ×4 master tape recording that came direct off the master tape. If they want to hear that level, they can, but it's very, very close. Yes, agree. DSD single bit DACs under 15K, still not there yet. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I haven't found any. De facto standard. Absolutely, it is. 4 times DSD, it sure does. I can attest to that. Yeah, it is crazy. Charles, there you are, buddy. Good to see you, man. Glad you're around. Hope you're feeling good, man. How does the Meitner MA3 handle DSD or transcoding? Same way. I don't think it doesn't have the same algorithm that Playback Designs has, and Playback is the master of that. He's got a certain way of doing the math, right? It's computer programming, FPGA programming to be more exact. And Andreas is a freaking genius at that. This guy understands it. And not only that, but he is a very feeling human being. He is in touch with the emotion of music. And so he puts that into his math, into his coding. Till date, nobody can match his coding. And they can try and copy it. They can say we do the same thing, but it's not the same. Okay. I can tell you that the MA3 has nowhere near the power supply but it's not a fair comparison. You'd have to compare the DA2 with the playback designs, and then it's probably a much more prolific or a more intense power supply. So it does the same thing. It converts everything or transcodes everything to DSD. It has that in common, but the math is different. What's up, Tex? How you doing, buddy? Good to see you, man. Cheers, teacher Chris. How are you, man? Welcome. Mikey's toy attic is likely large. This toy attic or the one in the closet? In the closet. I've got stuff in the closet. I've got toys in the closet. I need to open that up and sell to you guys. I'll go in and show you guys. I mean, if you see anything you guys want to buy, anything when I'm showing videos, let me know. I mean, the ones that are in the room are the ones that I'm using. Anything in the closet is for sale, except for the tubes. Did you go into the video and the guy who spoke? No, give me a break. Like I'm giving that guy juice. What up, Mikey? What creates listening fatigue in your opinion? I have a very careful. Okay, what creates listening fatigue? I'm guessing I have a very careful synergistic system to set up together through years from a Swiss hi-fi family. Never experienced that. Swiss Family Robinson? I'm clueless, man. I don't know. You need to clarify on that, please. Does Daniel Hertz Maria sound like master tape or not? It depends on what you're playing. How's that for a not answer? That's such the perfect hi-fi answer, bro. That is the golden standard answer in hi-fi is it depends. Okay. So I'm going to give you an it depends. But the truth is, how do you compare what master tape at what speed on what machine, blah, 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 I think, what I will tell you about the Daniel Hertz Maria is there's nothing like it. And it is a different take on how we do music listening, as would be expected. We can't compare it to our other hi-fi because it's a different thing. I consider it a different. It's in its own bubble. It's in its own ecosystem. It does not. It will play with other things, but it does. It is its own entity. Okay. It is incomparable to other things. It is the cutting edge of it utilizes the latest Mark's vision about where things are headed. You have to realize, my system is an active quad amp system. Mark was doing active quad amp in 1974. So Mark is so far ahead of everybody. All of us are still, we're still playing with Class A and active crossovers and all this stuff. Mark did that in 1974. You got to realize back then they took all the shit. The whole industry took all that shit to the nth degree. I had to do it myself because I wanted to learn firsthand. I wanted to be able to talk to you guys from a position of experience, not from a position of what I read or what I heard, right? And so Daniel Hertz Maria is in a different, it's a different thing, man. And what I'm going to do, it's in my rig right now, but I am going to put it into my AV rig, okay? I'm going to put it in to where I have an 80-inch OLED, paper thin, Sony XBR, and I'm going to put it in, and I've got some line arrays in there, speakers. I've got these Pipe Dreams, if you remember those. And I'm going to do what Mark does. I'm going to stream movies and listen to everything through 2-channel on some beautiful big speakers. And I'm going to use it that way because that is how Mark uses it. So I want to get the exact idea of how he uses it and what its forte is, because it is incomparable with other things. I think it's fantastic that he does something different with PCM, but I'm not even going to go there. Okay, I don't think this system even needs to go there. I think it could just say C-Wave technology with a logo, and it could say making PCM sound like analog, and that's the only discussion we need about it. Maybe a paragraph describing what it does so people know, and then we don't need to have a further discussion about it, because it's really not about the stupid talking points. It's about like sit down and listen to the thing, and then we talk about it. So anyways, so that's that. How do I feel about playback design MPD6? How close is it to MPD8? So it is like it is very close. I would say 90%. It's 90% as close. It is not as refined. Okay, so you have to design it. It's the same math. It's the same technology. It uses the same wicked ass killer transformers, but it only uses 2 instead of 3. It's the same principles and the same, but it's made to be assembled quicker. So it's a single board design. Single board designs are this. By the way, this $40,000 DAC single board design. It's ridiculous. You can't tell me you're charging 40 grand for frickin' playback design. Single board design is 20. A single board design is 15 grand. Okay, I digress. So it's done on a single board. It's the same math, 2 transformers with 1 rectifier bridge instead of 3 transformers and 3 rectifier bridges, 3 completely isolated power supplies, which is in the MPD8. The MPD8 is just built to the hilt. It's just built with no half measures. They don't share any transformers. They don't share anything. It's all dedicated, separate analog output boards. The input card is the same, but the converters are separate and the analog output boards are separate. There's like 4 boards inside, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 boards inside. So everything's separate. Everything's dual mono. Everything's isolated completely from one another. It's not that way on the MPD6. Everything is shared. So that's where the extra money goes. But in terms of sonic, it's 90%. It's almost there. When you hear those two together and you compare them to another brand or other DACs, like another 3 different brands, which I've done before, you listen to you clearly know they're the same DNA. You're like, absolutely, unmistakably, they're the same DNA. They're the same family, the same bloodline. They have a certain attribute to them where it connects you to the music that the other DACs don't have. And it's just not as refined as the MPD8. The MPD8 is just like the freaking cat's meow. You know, I mean, I don't know how to put it into words. And it's almost like trying to put it into words that other people use to describe DCS and MSB and all that other shit. It downgrades. There are no words that can do justice. Quit coughing in there. Anyways, so it degrades it. It's like I don't think there's any words that that do it justice. I just don't think. I'm just like, look, just listen to it. But the MPD6 is very close. For anybody that wants an MPD6, in August, second week in August, I will have an MPD6 with a streamer getting traded in by somebody that wants the MPD8 and the separate MPT with the streamer. So somebody is going up and they're going to trade in their piece. So contact me if you'd like to get a hold of that piece. I will have it available. It's the streamer on board. Now, when you put the streamer into the MPD6, you don't lose a power supply. There is already the real estate. When you do it to the MPD8, you have to lose a power supply. So on the 6, it's even more of a thumbs up to get the streamer on board. It's the same exact streamer board that is in the MPS X, which is 11,500, and it's only $3,000 when you add it to MPD6. So there's that. Skeletons in the Closet. That is such a great tune. I love that. I love that. Do you guys know what Skeletons in the Closet is? Man, who sang that? Skeletons in the Closet. Fuck it. I'm not going to look it up. You pulled your MPD apart. People should look at that video to see just what goes inside the DAC. All you got to do is look at that. I've had people that buy the DAC based on that video. They say, dude, I looked at that. I couldn't believe the build. It's so obviously stronger build than any DAC I've ever seen. And snap, they buy it, you know. And these are not people that need to finance their 24 grand. You know what I mean? I mean, they call and they write a check or they send the wire transfer. It's like, bam. Not that that makes a difference. I don't even know why I said that, but yeah, it's great. Does the Daniel Hertz have its own DAC? Yes, it does. The Daniel Hertz is a power DAC. Okay, so let me explain. It's different than a Class D amplifier. It is. Now, maybe somebody who's watching can make this distinction for me, because Mark will swear all day long that his thing is a Class D amp. I do not think that Class D amp. I think a digital amplifier. There's a distinction between a digital amp and a Class D amp. But maybe I'm wrong. As far as I know, a Class D amp, a digital amplifier needs a digital input. A Class D amp does not. Maybe it converts inside. Maybe someone can straighten me out. But this is a power DAC. So his amp is a DAC. It makes the power at the output binding process, whatever the hell that means. Okay. There's not an analog output section. It's like I don't quite understand the distinction, and maybe I just need. I'll ask Alberto. Alberto will be able to clear me up on that in a freaking New York minute. So I will find out. But yes, it has a DAC inside. It is a DAC. It's a power DAC. I don't understand how people can spend thousands of dollars on stuff just watching reviews without listening to the setups live. Okay, I'll tell you why. First, because they decide to trust somebody. And second of all, more than anything, it's not more than anything, okay? They have to trust you. Evidently, there's a lot of people that from watching me on my channel believe that they can trust me, and they can. They trust me with a lot of money, and I haven't even shipped anything, and I've got big chunks that just came into the account, and it's like I could rip them off. Okay, so they have to totally trust me. I'm a trustworthy guy. If I was there, it's better for me to give you good advice and give you and hook you up for my future. It's better for me to do that than to not do it correct, right? I need to make a future for myself and for my family. So I need to hook you guys up, and I need to do it in a way that's better than the next guy, because I need to pull sales, right? These other guys, they go on discounting. That's how they get your sale. That's the stupidest way. I actually go the extra mile. I vet my products, and I put them together. So they have to trust me. The next thing is they're not worried about losing the money. Okay. If people are worried about losing thousands of dollars, well, then wow, that sucks. The people that buy these DACs can lose thousands of dollars. Okay. They're not tripping. Okay. Me. Okay. I'm sending giant amounts overseas. I have to be willing to lose that shit. Of course, it's going to suck. But if I lose 100 G, it's not gonna kill me. It's not gonna wipe my business out. Okay. It doesn't mean I want to, but it's like we protect ourselves. Okay. We don't stick our neck out to the point where if we took a loss, it would kill us. We calculate so that if we do take the loss, we can absorb it. We can handle it. We got other shit in the pipe that we can smoke, right? So that's how people trust my ears, or they simply come out. If you are going to spend whatever you're going to spend, you want to buy Fischer and Fischer speakers, I will play. Someone's blowing up my damn phone. I'm just make sure it's not anybody that's watching the live stream. It doesn't look like it is. Anyways, so in other words, if you want to buy $2,000s of dollars worth of stuff, if that's what you mean by thousands, that is fly yourself out here, okay? If you're going to spend 50 whatever, if you're going to spend 25 grand on speakers, I'll buy your ticket, and you don't have to buy them, okay? I'll buy your ticket to come out and listen, and if you decide after listening that they're not good enough to buy and they're not a strong enough value, I pay for your ticket. What's there to lose? You can come out and listen to it live here. So there's many different ways. People understand that it's not a problem if they want something. So to maybe answer this more correct, people with the means understand if they want something and they need to hear it or whatever, there's not a problem. We just work out the dates, when do you want to come? Or if they don't, I have many people buy a $26,000 DAC, never heard it, okay? They completely trust me and they are totally stoked. I try to put them on here so that I can show you how many people are blown away by what I do for them. But it's kind of tooting my own horn. I only like to do that to give myself credibility for you guys, but it's not something I like to totally do all the time. Someone was here today. They bought the Fischer and Fischer 570s. They bought the audio analog Donizetti. They bought an AA DAC, and they bought the MLab streamer. And they bought a full rig. I didn't want to put the guy on, I just didn't feel like it. Someone else, Chris came. Chris was happy to talk about the thing. I feel out the people. Some people, I feel like they want to be more private. Other people, I feel like maybe they're a little more outgoing, and maybe so I try and put people on. But if you've been watching me and you don't feel that you can send me your money and not be, and you don't feel that you're going to be satisfied, then you're not getting the picture. And if you have any hesitation about buying from me, then you shouldn't, by all means. But so yeah, I mean, I'll have to tell you, I felt the same way you did when I started this channel. I was like, 2 months in, someone sent me 70 grand for an audio system. 2 months into my channel, they trusted me enough from seeing me do my channel. I'm like, it blew my mind. I'm like, I can't believe he's never heard it. He's going off what he heard on YouTube. So it's like, it does happen. And I had a hard time believing it too. But now it's like, now I know it works. And it's like, I don't have to, it's like, now I'm a believer, right? It's like, once you see it, you believe it. So what are my thoughts on beryllium drivers? I do not like them typically. I do not like metal in drivers unless it's a ribbon, typically speaking. I have heard beryllium, I think, in the rock ports, and they sounded really good. So beryllium done right can sound very good. But typically I don't like aluminum dome. Eek. If I see that reflective metal on a speaker, I won't even listen to it. I don't care, because I have a mental aversion to metal drivers. So I can't look at them, or it will affect the way I hear them. That's how biased I am. That's how much I don't like them, that it will sound shitty to me. No matter how good it sounds, it's going to sound shitty to me, because I can't stand metal drivers. Maybe if I closed my eyes and they were behind and they were hidden, I might be able to not have the bias, but I am seriously biased against metal drivers. I do not like them. There's much better driver materials for my taste. Roberto M., careful clues, and with the understanding of system, there is some method to it. Wow, dude, the freaking Riddler, man. What? I'm like a cow in headlights. MLabs Meitner versus playback design. Tell me about the sound signature differences. Okay, so the sound signatures in MLabs between the MA3 and the DA2 are freaking night and day. The MA3 is warm sounding. If anything, you should put the MA3 with the system that leans forward right now, that is like a little bit sharp, and you want to tame it. But I don't like to band-aid shit. But the MA3 is a perfect DAC to throw into a sharp rig. If it's fatiguing and harsh, put the MA3 will balance it. If you put the MA3 into a completely transparent balanced rig, it's going to be too dark or too musical, in my opinion. And you need a preamp to juice it, a solid state preamp to give it some life or something like that, or to give it a little of that edge. So that's MA3. DA2 is like too freaking resolute. It is so freaking resolute that it's like distracting. It's the ear candy is off the charts. It is like, that's all it is. It is straight ear candy. Droplets of orb of sonic attributes in the soundstage, which are completely they're too engaging. So they're distracting. You listen to it, and again, this is just in my experience in the rigs that I heard DA2. It was overdone, over resolute, and over detailed to the point where it was distracting. I'm hearing all these little constituent parts pop out of the soundstage. Well, listen to that over there. Well, listen to that. Sounds that should be in the background are in the foreground, right up in my grill, right all the way up in my ear hole. And I'm like, dude, I don't want the triangle up in my ear hole. I want that to be in the background where it should be in the recording. So it extracts too much out. It's like too much of a good thing. So I could never live with it. I would be pulling my hair out. Maybe that works good in a rig that's too soft, that you need to liven up and you need to add some life to, or you need to add some resolution. But so to me, and Playback Designs is right dead in the middle. It's like the perfect. We could say like Goldilocks, right? This one's too hot, this one's too cold with Meitner, but Playback is just right. It's right in the middle. It's perfect combination of organic naturalness, and then the detail and the resolution. There's no slag there, and it's like the perfect mix. So that's why it gets my stamp of my vote as my reference, and it has been for the last 4 years. I've still had the same DAC in. Trust me, if I could find better, I could buy it. I could then sell it, and I would take that brand in. If I found something better, I would take that brand in, and I would offer a higher level DAC. But I have even listened to Wadax, which at 150 grand for the DAC, and it still can't beat the Playback Designs. So it's the perfect DAC for me, and that's me, and that's just me. So that is, I hope that gives you an idea of the sound differences. Just removed the band from my Robusto, entering uncharted territory. He's in the nub. He's nubbing his shit right now. Hi-Fi Tribe, what's up, Tex? Yeah, baby. Alice Cooper, Skeletons in the Closet. Thank you, man. That's right. It's Alex. It's such a great tune, man. You guys got to listen to this. It is such a classic. Nobody even probably knows what it is. Charles pulled that out of his butt. It's Alice at his best. It's total creepy Alice music. I love it. Nobody does stuff like that. You got to listen to Skeletons. Direct digital amp. Yeah, that's what it is. It's a digital amp. You know, I guess from what it is, it's a power DAC. And there's a distinction between that and a Class D, but I don't know what that distinction is. I was really hoping for some one-on-one comparison between the Maria and all other goodies you had in your main rig. No, why would I do that? There's no, they're two different things. How am I going to compare how, you know, the other rig does when I introduce, a video into it, and I'm going into the, you know, and I'm doing music videos. There's no way I'm doing that other rig. It is something different. There's no comparison. You buy it for a completely different reason. You know, so there is no comparison. You would have to consult with me for me to tell you if Maria is the right thing for you. Maria is not the right thing for everybody, if that's what you're trying to ask. There's people that put out videos trying to say Maria is the second coming of Christ. It's the answer to everything. No, it's not. It is the answer to the right person's need, okay? And that's what makes Me different than the other people out there that will just polish your knob and tell you it's perfect for everything. It's not. It fits a perfect need. It is, and there's nothing else that fills that. It's like a key. Which key fits the slot? Okay, so Maria is a key, and you have a lock on your needs, and either Maria fits that lock or Maria does not fit that lock. And I'm here to be the guy that will determine whether Maria is or is not for you. And that's what a consultation does when you call me, and it's free. So that's the best I can do for you. But I'm not going to sit here and compare it to a single-ended triode monoblock. You know, why would I do that? What for? What's the purpose? They're two completely different customers, completely different needs, completely different purposes, right? So it's incomparable. I just don't know how to make that clear. Thank you, Mikey, for the answer. I trust only a few people in hi-fi. You are one of them. Absolutely, brother. Start with something small. That's what I tell people. So start with something for $2,000 from me, and then let me earn your trust and your loyalty. You're gonna be like, holy shit, Mikey was not kidding. I'm stoked. You know, and then, dude, yeah, you're not kidding. I mean, that's what the common thing that people tell me is, dude, you were not bullshitting. Like, you totally took care of my ass. I'm stoked. I feel like I got my money's worth. That is what I hear more than anything. I feel like I got my money's worth, man. Thank you for that. Because so many times I don't feel like I got my money's worth. And even if you get a half price something from a brick and mortar dealer, if it doesn't do what you signed up for, if it doesn't give you what you want, it didn't do its job. So it doesn't matter if it's half price. It's like buying shoes that don't fit, that are Ferragamo loafers that you buy because they're half price, and you can show off that you've got $2,500 loafers, right? But they don't fit right. So you don't end up really wearing them. It's the same damn thing. If you buy audio gear for half price because it's a good deal, and then you get it back to your room and you put it in your rig and it's fatiguing or whatever, then you're stuck. Then it was still a ripoff. And regardless if you got it for half price. So yes, you can trust me, Roberto. I will. You are in good hands. I guarantee all my stuff. If you don't like it, you get all your money back. There's no out of pocket except for your shipping. There's no restock fee. None of that. Audio Shrink just posted a video about you. That dude is a tool. Who cares? And I'm not even going to comment. I'm not even. The guy's a total tool. 2,000 viewers, 400 views. He's a complete tool. He's a landscaper that has an audio channel that is so hypocritical. It's not even funny. If you know anything, you will. Let's see. Oops. I'm going to go here and do this. So if you watch that video, you'll see, and the guy's a hypocrite. That's all I can say. And I responded to it, and he deleted every response that I put up there. And he says in the beginning, I don't delete any. He's full of shit. He's a tool, okay? And he belongs in the tool shed, so he's getting ignored. Yeah, dudes can lose 50K, but they will badmouth you, and that's worse because they never forget. Absolutely. That's right. That's right. So, and if you badmouth, if you rip off somebody, it goes out on the internet, and you can't get rid of that. How can I take it off the internet? And if somebody's telling the truth, you know, then you can't take that off. If they're lying, then they could be, you know, sued and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, exactly. The word would get around. But you know, and it's the vice versa is you take care of people, hook them up, don't nickel and dime the piss out of them. Don't make them pay for consultations. Don't worry about shipping one way or shipping little charges like that. Like those little charges, under $100 charges, I don't even give a shit about. Okay. It's like, you know, my people are my people. The tribe is the tribe. I'm not nickel and diming you guys. I don't need to nickel and dime you guys. Okay. You get enough of that everywhere else, you know, starting at the freaking grocery store and then the gas station. But we won't go into that. Alice Cooper, as Charles said in his post. Yeah, absolutely. I know it's a great tune. I haven't heard it. I got to listen to it after I get off. Mikey, let me tell you, Okay, so Shane is saying, let me tell you, I purchased my DAC after looking at your video on the MPD8. I was able to hear one, and that sealed the deal. There you go. So a lot. Okay, when I contacted Playback Designs, I'm probably responsible for a quadrupling of their sales. Definitely more than doubling. They were not selling very many DACs. They had 2 deadbeat dealers. One of them called and he's like, "Oh yeah, I should be selling more Playback Designs," and that's their best dealer. The other guy was a jamoke, kind of, and it's like so yeah, I'm not going to go into it, but yes, many people, Shane, many people have bought MPD8s from my videos. So it's cool, man. I like to promote things that are killer. Metal drivers aren't too bad in home theater. What? Credibility and integrity is everything in a good YouTube channel. Well, it's everything in a good dealer, which is what I am. I'm a YouTube channel is 10% of what I do. I'm a dealer. That's 90% of what I do. So yeah, it is everything in a good YouTube channel for sure, but it's really everything in a dealer. In Mikey, I trust. Right on, D. I agree, Shane. Right on. Your channel is at that caliber. People find me. You know, I may not be, and I'm sitting too low in the screen, aren't I? Just realized that. I need to get up. I had Dan. I've got Hollywood camera guys that are production guys that are like Dale Dimmick, and they give me they're like, dude, you got to be in the upper third. They give me the you know and the lights, you know, and all this shit. They clue me in on how to do it. Anyways, oh, I just remembered who I need to see in LA. David, what's his name? Telescope guy in LA. Robert Brothers. I got to see Robert. He runs a newspaper in Los Angeles, a client of mine. Now I got to go see this guy. Him and his buddy are freaking astronomers, man. One's an astronomer and one's and they have these kick-ass huge telescopes, man, and they're able to look in the sky and see back, you know, whatever, 100,000 years. I don't know how it works, but it's pretty tripped out, and I want to experience it because I never have. So yeah, I try to bring. I'm glad my people find me. I get people that call me every single day. Maybe a couple days they don't, but they tell me how much they appreciate what I'm doing. And so I know I'm doing the right thing. And then the sales is a clear indicator. It's just people. You can tell that I'm not different. When you talk to me on the phone, I'm the same guy. You're talking to Mikey right now. Like I'm the same person. I'm not putting on an act. This is not an act. It's not. Sure, I'm fired up when you come here. Like when you talk to me and I'm not doing a video, I don't talk projecting the way I talk right now. I talk mellow. Okay. I talk like this. If I'm talking to you, talking to you on the phone, it's more like this. When I'm talking to people, I can't help it. To me, I'm public speaking right now. So I just like when you see people at podiums at the DNC or the RNC, right? They project. Everybody is projecting. Some ladies, I don't know if you guys have been watching the RNC. This lady, man, some of these people that are regular people are so good at public speaking. I don't know if you saw the lady yesterday. She was shouting the whole time, but she was so motivating. Anyways, so it's like a thing I do. I'm a public. I used to train in meetings every morning. I give a morning meeting for salespeople, train them, and I had to motivate them too. So this is leftovers. So anyways, do I think that a $1 million DAC will sound better than 800K DAC? Sound at least 200K better to Jay's Audio Lab, his fans, and most audiophiles in general. I mean, it's hard for me to take this. Okay, I don't. If you could be more direct on what exactly it is that you'd like me to, how you'd like me to answer, because this is so vague and like pie in the sky that I don't know how to answer it, to be quite honest. If you could, be a little more direct, I'm happy to answer the question, but I don't know how to answer it. Thanks, Dan. Thank you, Dan. Does playback plan to add an analog input to the MPD6 like the MPD8? Good question. I don't know. Let me text him right now and see if he does. And Andreas Koch. Okay. Hi, Andreas. The tribe is asking if you will do MPD 6 AI. Okay, I'm live streaming right now. Let's see if he answers. We'll see if he answers. He might answer us right now. And we'll see. But that's an interesting question. Yeah, if he did, it would be, I'm sure, $4,000. So that's how much it is on the other one. So maybe it'd be the same. Maybe it's less. I don't know. But I don't know. Mikey, you are the definition of full disclosure. I know. It's a double-edged sword, isn't it? It's a double-edged sword. I bare my soul, man. I mean, there's nothing. What else? What am I going to, I don't get acting. I just don't understand it. I get acting for the purpose of drama and doing drama in a play or in a TV show. But other than that, sorry, I meant metal tweeters. What was that? I have to go back now. Text. Yeah, dudes can lose 30K, but that's worse because they never forget metal tweeters. Oh, here we go. Metal aren't too bad in home theater. Oh yeah, whatever. Yeah. I mean, what's home theater? Okay. If you have to choose between the Boulder 866 Gryphon Diablo or Luxman M10X in your own system, which would you choose and why? Okay, so it's a loaded question. Okay, so I'll be direct and honest. Based on how I've been talked to and treated, and this was before my channel. This was when I was at the beginning of my career. I actually had a tag on. I was working for LG on Mark Levinson's team. I was speaking at. How's this for your boy Mikey? I was speaking for LG. I was doing public speaking and introducing the Mark Levinson piece of gear that he had created for LG Electronics, Seoul, Korea. I was at CES in Las Vegas as one of the speakers and giving that. And this is 16 years ago. And I had the tag on that said what did it say? Marketing expert. Mike Powell, LG Electronics, Mark Levinson team or whatever. And the Boulder guy, he's just such a cocky asshole, and that was the second engagement that I had with him where he was a very disrespectful, cocky asshole. Actually, the third. And so that's right. The third time he told us to leave the room if we weren't Boulder owners. Talk about an elitist bitch asshole. I decided at an early tenure in this industry, my first maybe 6 years in it, fuck Boulder. And no matter how good that shit ever sounds, I will never take it serious. I don't want to support that guy who founded that company. So he ruined it at an early stage. I will never accept Boulder. I think it's stuck up shit for stuck up dicks. Okay. Now I will walk that back because there are some good people. Of course, there's good people that own Boulder. There's people that own Boulder that have never met the owner. So they don't know who they're supporting. Okay. They're just supporting their local dealer. And maybe Boulder stuff does sound good. I don't freaking know because I'm not giving it a chance. Just because of the bad blood this guy made 3 times in just being such a dick that I'm like, and you guys know I stand against elitism. I stand against elitism in many different forms. Okay. I stand for unity and inclusiveness, right? And so to be this elitish prick, he stands for everything I hate in hi-fi, which is this attitude, holier than thou, like just because you have big expensive amps, that you can talk to anybody the way you want because you deem them not important because they're not somebody that has 100 grand or 160 grand to give you for an amp. So, so there's my thing with Boulder. So Boulder, we can kick to the curb. That whole brand from a hi-fi Mikey standpoint is kicked to the curb. I don't take it serious, and I don't think I ever will. Okay. So I can't comment on Boulder, and that's why I'm telling you, I'm giving you the background on it so you know why I have the feelings I do and why I talk about it the way I do. I don't want to support it. And from what I know, it's a little analytical, okay? But that's just hearsay, right? I've not had that experience. Gryphon Diablo 300. So again, Gryphon is a brand that I'll give you. It's a brand that I think very intriguing. I like the foreboding Darth Vader look of Gryphon. It's super cool to me because it looks like the Black Sheep, right? So look, I love Black Sheep stuff. I love badass bully looking shit, right? Now, I'm not a bully. I'm really a tree hugging hippie, okay? But I just like stuff that looks badass in machinery. I like a black ass Lambo or a, that looks menacing. I think that shit is cool. I like black gear, black audio gear that looks foreboding and Darth Vader-ish. So Gryphon totally encompasses that. So I like it. Now, Gryphon, typically, I'm trying to get a grip on the sound, and you can't hear it hardly anywhere. I went locally to the Gryphon dealer. I heard, I can't remember which amp. I think it might have been Diablo 300 with some Wilson speakers and a DCS DAC. And it was too analytical for me. Now, they told me it was the cables and that they were waiting on transparent cables that were going to come and that it needed the cables to sound its best. To me, that excuse makes me not like whatever I'm listening to, because what it makes me think is this shit needs some expensive ass cables. It's part of the audio mafia. I don't understand anything that needs a cable to sound its best. I should be able to put freaking lamp cord on this shit and it better sound good. If it doesn't sound good with lamp cord and I need to buy $35,000 cables, there's a problem. Okay. I don't buy it and I'm not going to buy it. So I got a bad taste in my mouth from Gryphon. Now, Leif, I dig the guy that sells it. Super cool dude, man. I like that guy. Would hang with him. I like him a lot. He's gregarious. He's charismatic. He's cool. I respect the guy. So cool representation. But the brand I can't wrap my hands around. So I wouldn't own it at this point because I can't say that I've had an experience where I go, that shit is kick ass. Now, from what I've heard, what is it? Not the Mephisto, but there's another one. The someone help me here. It's the other power amps from the other series. The Mephistos are supposed to be very analytical, and then there's another one that having a brain fart. But those are supposed to sound more musical. And people, after they heard me say I didn't like Mephisto, I went to Jay's house, and he had big ass Wilsons and Mephisto's way too analytical, and MSB way too sharp for me, too analytical. It wasn't really sharp. It sounded perfectly pristine, but it goes back to that thing I was talking to about the DA3 from play. It was distracting. It was just too much. It was fatiguing. It was all I wanted to do was turn up rap music really loud to see how hard we could kick it. I mean, I wanted to turn up trance music or like, that's what I felt like motivated to listen to that. And I know that's a sign when I feel like turning up electronic music, that's not my type of rig. I'm trying to hit its virtues, but it's not my real type of rig. So I have not been able to assess Gryphon. So I can't say that. Now Luxman I've listened to, and Luxman is more on the musical side. I don't know what the M10X is. If I had to pick between those three, I would probably go with, it would be Gryphon or Luxman, and I'd probably go with Luxman as a safe bet because I know it's musical. Gryphon is a cooler amp. I would want the Gryphon more than the Luxman, but I would lean towards the Luxman because I would feel I would be safer in a sonic realm. I would much rather have the Gryphon because it's totally cooler to look at and it's just a cooler thing. Okay. But I think Luxman's sound would probably serve me better. So hopefully that, and Gryphon, our Boulder, is kicked to the curb. So hopefully that was a long answer, but I think that's what you're after. How good is the other brand of DACs you tell us about? The other brand of DACs, what do you mean? The double A, the every DAC that I carry at the certain price point is the best DAC that I can find at that price point. So AA DAC is $5,000. That's the best DAC I can find from 15 grand down. Okay. Is the AA DAC. I need to find one, and I will find one for you guys that's a $10,000 DAC. I still have not filled that slot yet. I tried it with MA3, but MA3 is, and it's such a good piece, but it needs to be in the right rig. It has a coloration, so I can't fully get behind. I mean, I think it's good in sharp systems, but I couldn't wholeheartedly sell that to you into a transparent rig. And that's what I build. I build balanced, transparent systems. I don't hobnob Band-Aid shit for people. I don't like creating those rigs where I sell this to this guy who's got a system. You know, I ask him, how's your system? Well, it's a little sharp. Okay, let me sell you an MA3. I don't, you know, that's not really taking care of the problem. That's Band-Aiding the problem. I'd rather, you know, we start fresh, you know, rather than Band-Aid. It is still in my toolbox. I don't not represent it. I do still sell DA3 for that reason because I think it's a value. But it's not my perfect. So below $5,000 is Nuontech DAC 07. There's nothing better below $5,000. Below 15 grand so far, the AA DAC. There's nothing better that I've found. I'm about ready to try the Nuontech 2500. We'll see how that is. But I think that's in the 5K range. I'm going to need something higher than that. It might be, I'm not going to tell you who I'm thinking of working with, but it might be, I'm not going to, I've got one in mind. So I work with great DACs. They're great. The Emma effing Mikey show. You know it, brother. Paul gets it. I'm going to hit you up for an MPD6. Okay, do it because I've got that one coming. Remember, in August, mid-August, I have one with the streamer on board coming that I'll hook you up with. It's a trade-in. Good to wake up with Mikey live. Right on, Marcella. Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. Marcella has a YouTube channel called Marcella Vinyl Forever. So let's give her support. Let's give her a good Hi-Fi Tribe support and go to her channel and give it a thumbs up and subscribe. Let's help boost what Marcella does. And you can listen to her talk about vinyl and records and record players and all that stuff that I don't cover. So she's a good place to go. She is a good place to go to see and learn about vinyl and records. So thank you. Hey, Charles says hi. At WA, who makes a $1 million DAC? I know, that's what I'm talking about. It's like, you know, how do you can't take that serious. If someone did make a $1 million DAC, I couldn't talk about it because you can't take it serious. You have to just fully thumbs down that brand. Fully thumbs down that brand. Anybody that's doing $1 million systems is harming in my opinion, is harming our hobby. Now, there's dealers out there that would say the opposite. They would say, well, they're helping it because then $100,000 DACs are no big deal. But to me, that's not where I want to go with this, man. I don't want to make it an elite thing. And that's what the industry would be leaning towards. You got to realize there's desperate brick and mortars that have bills to pay, man. They have there's some that own their building and that are financially sound that I know of, and then there's others that have very high expenses and they need to pay it. And you know, but even some of those guys have a lot of integrity. Core Van Empel in Netherlands is, man, he's an example of a really cool brick and mortar that doesn't own the building, that is probably got high bills to pay. But this is a dude that, man, under all those conditions, he's not a whore. and all that stuff. He's a good guy. And I will continue to vet these dealers. I'll go in and I'm not even going to tell them who I am. They may recognize me, but I'll just walk in, take a look around, let them talk to me, get a feel and a vibe for them, because I don't want to put on the good show to try and just appease me, right? I have to. With Core, I spent 3 days with him. He took me around. He showed me, we hung out. We spent time with him and his wife. We went to his house. We, met his daughters. It's like I got to know the guy. You can't fake it for I don't know. I mean, maybe you can, but I know people. I've got good street smarts, and I know how to tell good people. So yeah, who knows who makes $1 million DAC? Need to talk to you about an output board for the MPD8. No, you need to talk to Andreas. You need to talk to him, because there is no output board happening. It takes a whole bottom plate with a whole back thing. Oh, wait, you're talking about, yeah, that's right. You're talking about just fitting it into the standard MPD8. That may be possible. He's not doing that right now, but you need to talk to Andreas. So him, call him up, man, or just email him. That Boulder guy comes across as an asshole just on the videos when he's trying to be at his best, right? Like, I mean, can you get a vibe for the guy? Imagine him in his own room at CES, thinking he's on top of the world, talking down to people, which is what the experience was. And I'm like, and then an example of the exact polar opposite was Jeff Rowland. The same show, I went into the Jeff Rowland room and I talked with Jeff. I'm like, wow, you're the guy. Jeff Rowland, nice to meet you. And Jeff came, stood up, walked over to me, shook my hand. When I asked him a question, he looked straight into my eyes and he listened to me, every word I said. And my question was probably stupid because I was a newbie. He gave me the respect. He didn't give me a look like, oh, God, like these other guys do when they know you're new. He looked me in the eye. He gave me respect and talked to me like a respectful human being. I never forgot that. He made an impression on me. I went, this guy's an owner of a company. I'm a dumbass right now. And this guy is talking to me like I see him talking to all the other guys that are high in the industry. And he's giving me total respect. So I was like, here's a brand. I like this guy. So already this brand has an uptick. I have to listen to it and vet the brand. And many years later, I had the experience with the 625S2, which was my first experience with Jeff Rowland amps. And I was like blown away. And he was still consistently a good guy. So, Jesus, I'm on 2 hours. I got to stop. So Jeff Rowland was the antithesis of this guy. And these are the brands that I work with. I vet these people and then I work with the good people and then I hang out with them and I do interviews with them. So you guys can see they're all part of the tribe. We're all cut from the same cloth. Even the manufacturers are tribe level for us, right? They're our same vibration. So Mikey, our separate high-end streamer like the M-Labs NS1 with high-end DAC always better than an all-in-one DAC? Is it worth it to split it? I think so, yes. It is convenient to put them in. And with the playback designs, you can change things from the firmware. But it's convenience. When you split them out, you get a complete separate power supply for that streamer. And second of all, you've got something that's emitting high frequency noise because it's a computer. So you kind of want it outside the DAC. If you have your druthers and you're really splitting hairs, okay, then you want it outside the DAC. You want its own power supply. You want it on an isolated plug, so it's not spitting digital back onto the line. And so you do it that way. So, but if you just want it, and again, we're splitting hairs. If we listen to the difference, it is, can you hear it? Yes. Is it big? No, it's splitting hairs. But for some of us that really don't want to make half measures, then yes, you put the streamer on the outside. Yes, analytical is how I hear it as well. Yeah. Is that good? The 333 is out now. Stunning amplifier, the best integrated I've ever heard. What is that? I don't know what that is. But if it's a Boulder, I don't give a shit how fucking good it is. I'm not buying it and I'm not talking about it. I'll find something that kicks its ass. Haven't heard of any of these amps yet making Rex. Haven't heard any of these amps yet making Rex. What's a rec? A recorder? DAC? I have to rephrase that. Do you change recommended products to a person for the types of music they listen to? Not in terms of like DAC. In terms of amp and speaker combos, yes. So certain amp and speakers, really. And then the amp follows the speaker. So depending on what music you listen to would help me determine what might be, and really it's just what speaker can I let you go to, right? Like for instance, the Fischer and Fischer is great with every type of music. But if you want to get a single-ended, if you want a single driver speaker and you want to do a single-ended triode, now we're in a different type of music, okay? You want to go into that real rarefied niche area, niche, I guess, area of hi-fi, then, yeah, you can be limited. If you play heavy metal, you play rock music, I'm not going to recommend a single driver, even though it will do it. It's other speakers do it better. So yes, I recommend products based on the type of music, what your room is like, what kind of listening you do, how loud you listen. Is your room used for multiple purpose, or is it a listening room? There's many things I ask. I get to know you, and then I curate your audio system personally. I don't just sell you a bill of goods. I personally curate a system for you. Other people don't do that. It's what makes me different. The Apex is the latest big boy on the block, and it's also a masterpiece as far as I'm concerned. I've heard it several times now. Oh, okay. That's cool. I gotta say that, big show-off amps turn me off, dude. It's such a, maybe it's a big masterpiece, whatever, it's just such a showy, gaudy thing that I'm just kind of turned off by that shit. And how much is the Apex, Shane? Tell me, how much? Does it even make sense? Aloha, Mikey from Big Island. What's up, brother? How's the spam today? But in saying that, everybody is about pairing the right components together at this level. Yeah, I mean, what pairs with Gryphon, Shane? And have you had an Apex? You say an Apex is great. Have you had it at your house? Are you talking about from an audio show or at a dealer or on a YouTube video? How do you know Apex is the masterpiece? Tell me your experience with it so we understand the context of your comment. And see, for everybody listening right now, this is a good question to ask people. Shane just told me it's a masterpiece. I don't buy it. He needs to give me more information. I love and trust Shane. So I care enough to ask the next question is, give me the context. Otherwise, I just ignore him and just go, it's just another dude crooning over a big, expensive, gaudy, freaking giant, super expensive amp, okay? And those things turn me off. So if I really care enough, I'm going to ask Shane, give me the context. Where did you hear it? Under what conditions? What speakers was it with? Where was it? Was it at a show? Hang on, let's see if Dave wants to join in. Hey, Davey.
Hey, Mikey.
I'm still doing my live stream. Did you want to be on it or something?
No, I can't believe you're still doing it.
I know. It's freaking 2 hours, brother. I'm rambling.
When you're done, give me a call. We'll talk about dates. I gotta mark something down. I can't take all those dates.
Okay, got you. Not a problem. Right on, thanks, man.
Thanks,
okay, bye. See you. Okay. Sorry about that. I didn't know if he wanted to join or not. So Shane, give us context. Where did you hear it? With what speakers? Under what conditions? What DAC? What was the rest of the equipment? And tell us how, because you're giving us a pretty big statement, buddy. Let's back that up. Let's see what you got. Show us the receipts. Will there be a sonic improvement in the MPD8 AI, or is it mainly additional inputs? It's only additional inputs. It's there will not be any sonic improvement. It is just the ability to use phono and tape, or 2 analog inputs, phono and tuner, whatever you have, so you don't need to have a preamp. Because the analog output section on this piece is at the level where it rivals every preamp I've heard. And in fact, it beat my reference preamp. So if you can save 65 grand on a preamp and just, 35 grand on a preamp and just use that money to get the better DAC, it makes more sense. So that's why. Hey, Mikey, Marcella's system is insane. She built her speakers too. Super cool, man. I tried to get a hold of Marcella. I have her gear, her contact now. So next year, Marcella, when I come to Netherlands, we will hang out. Okay, I'll come. We'll do a video from your insane rig. You can turn me on to the vinyl goodness, because Core. Do you know Core Van Empel, Marcella? Have you been to Core's store? Do you know where it is in Groningen? No, he's in Zwolle. I hope I'm doing the right accent too. Can you guys tell I'm doing an accent? I'm trying. I listened to him there. I'm trying to copy the accent, the Dutch accent. Okay. Yeah, a good B&M wines and dines. Yes, that's right. I do find bowler peeps to be douchebags. I don't know, man. I don't know anybody that uses. That's the thing. Like, okay, so I'm part of. I used to hang out on What's Best Forum, which is where the guys with the money that have good systems go. Right? It's not AudioGone where the people that don't have the money go to swim. But What's Best Forum has the guys with money that have the real $500,000 rigs, and I don't think any of them use Boulder that I know of. And there's certain brands that they just don't use. You find out in quick order what brands the guys with money use. Okay, the guys that can afford anything they want. What brands, and not just the show offs, because these are guys that are actually real audiophiles. Because there's a difference between a show off, flamboyant person that's buying for a show or just to have something cool because they buy cool shit and they just want something else cool, and then real audiophiles that are discerning audiophiles. I don't think discerning audiophiles use Boulder that I know of. Thanks, Nick. Yes, you did build your own speakers. That's super cool, Marcella. You're like, I'm sad we didn't get a hangout. Rex, recommendation amps M10X300X. My recommendation for amps are the amps that I carry on 11 stereo. So I don't recommend shit that I don't sell, because if I don't sell it, it means it's not good enough for me. So if it's not good enough for me, then why would I recommend it unless somebody was paying me to recommend it? That's why when these people that are reviewers say, oh my God, this is the best thing I ever heard, my first question is, did you buy it? And if they say, no, I didn't buy it, I'm like, well, it can't be that freaking good then, or you'd have to have it. You'd cut your left nut off to have it if it was the best thing you'd ever heard. So people are just, they say that too many times, best thing I've ever heard, best thing I've ever. Oh, really? Do you own them? No, you don't own them. Well, then whatever. I'm going to take whatever you just said with a grain of salt, because somebody sponsored your channel. You got paid to say that it's the greatest amp, because you didn't buy it. That's how to tell somebody that got some sort of benefit from it. If they didn't buy it, it tells you. If they did buy it, they're like, shit, this is so good. That's the best thing a reviewer can do, is own the shit. Now, I own the Donizetti. I own the Fischer and Fischers. I use the playback designs for the last 4 years, so there isn't a higher recommendation. So I don't recommend Gryphon. I don't recommend Boulder. I don't recommend those brands because I've found better at a better price. We've got Shane. Let's see. Maybe Shane wants to. Hey, Shane, what's up?
Hey, brother. Going off.
Not too much, man. I'm still live. Are you trying to be on the stream?
Yeah, I'm
I've been watching it, and I thought rather than keep typing and misspelling shit, I'd just come on here and tell you what I know.
Oh, okay, cool. Oh, yeah, please. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so everybody, Shane has called us from Australia. He's going to tell us about his experience with Gryphon that he said was a masterpiece. Yeah, please enlighten us.
Okay, so recently when I was on my travels, I was over in Manila in the Philippines, and I went to a dealer there called AVDI that have fairly high-end stuff, and they had the Gryphon Apex and Commander, which is the partnering preamplifier, which is Gryphon's latest example of their power preamp combinations. And I mean, I've heard all the Gryphon amplifiers over the years, and this particular combination was the best I've heard from them. For them, I believe it's a masterpiece. So, things get lost in translation when you type stuff out. So I think it's their best offering so far.
Now, how do you know it was the amp? How do you know it wasn't the speakers, the room, the DAC, the source?
Well,
the acid.
Yeah, we tried it. we tried it with a few different things.
Oh, you did. You pulled out the amps.
Yeah. We went through and I listened to that amplifier with a few different DACs. We had a few different speaker pairings as well, and I could just hear what was going. Yeah, I mean, you say it, and I'll reiterate it. I've heard a lot of DACs. I've heard a lot of systems over my 35 years in this industry doing what I do, and including sound engineering and all the rest of it. So I get a bit of a feel of what's good and what's not, and all the other things that I've heard from Gryphon, I could always put my finger on something not being where I liked it, and I'm looking for neutrality and musicality with detail, but without anything that jumps out at me and makes me get annoyed at it. And the Apex just seemed to be a refinement, and I think I typed that in a lower message, so ignore that. It just seems to be a refinement over everything they've done up till now, and that's why so masterpiece, maybe a little too strong a word. I'll walk that back, but certainly it's the best I've heard from them.
Okay, cool. How much is it?
That's a good question, because I didn't really. Look, it is not a cheap amplifier. Nothing from them.
Well, I know it's over 100 grand, but I'm wondering how far. Let's see, Gryphon Apex amplifier.
I don't want to say something that without.
Okay, yeah, that's cool. I'll look it up right now. Apex Gryphon. Okay, Gryphon Apex stereo power amplifier. So it's been out a couple of years, it looks like.
Yeah, I think so now, would be.
Oh, well, look, who's got it? Angie has it. Oh! 300,000. You got to be fucking kidding me. Dude, okay, so, God damn it, dude. That's cheap, so stupid. Stupid. Really? Really?
Yeah, it's not. I get it. It's not cheap, and you offer great value in relation to the products you carry. I back that 110%, because I've heard a lot of the things that you've got. And in fact, as I said in an earlier thing, I bought an MPDA off your recommendation. So in you, I also trust. I'm just giving you a sense of what I heard and what I thought about.
No, that's cool. So it's a good amp. I mean, I'm sure it is a good amp. I just don't think there's any way in hell it's worth $300,000. I'm looking at it right now. I'm looking at the guts of it. They've got it wide open. This is old Krell. I mean, it's old ass. I mean, this is not new technology. These are old, regular. Let's see if the caps are even 105 Celsius, if they're computer grade or if they're not, or if they're 85. I mean, it's like, I mean, come on, man. I mean, this thing isn't there's nothing even, it's so sad because, I mean, if you made it 150, if it was 150 or 125, I might buy one, But, I mean, I would feel like an absolute dick selling an amp and having to tell somebody it's 300,000. Like, my dink would shrink 2 inches by saying that. I think It would shrivel up and turtle just saying those words. You know, there's.
I'm not, I was just going to say, I am certainly not justifying their pricing. I would not do that.
No, I'm clear. I'm clear.
Like it's just in high-end
okay.
audio, like a lot of things are. Anyway.
I got you. So thanks for that. I'm sure it's a great amp. It looks like old technology, built really well. I'm sure we could pull out a Gryphon from 1992 that probably doesn't look much different. I've got one client, man. He's got Gryphon. What were those damn? Oh man, what were the name of them? They look like a Battlestar Galactica on the front. They're massive monoblocks, Class A monoblocks. They probably look about the same inside.
Yeah, I mean,
but I'm not going to buy one.
Just a refinement in. There's a refinement in the way that amplifier sounds over the other ones. I agree with your take on the Mephisto. It is. I agree with what you said. This is different. They are different. But look, I'm not standing up here and saying I can justify the price because I can't.
Yeah, I mean, you know, yeah, I think it's crazy. Anyways, okay, cool, Shane. Thanks, brother. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you soon.
No worries, man. I'm getting over there next year, mate. We're going crazy.
You know, brother, we are.
All right, absolutely. I'll talk to you later.
Okay, man. Cheers. Say bye to the tribe.
See you, mate. I shall. Bye, tribe. Love yous all.
All right, man. Cheers. Take care. Okay. Okay, cool. So, okay, yeah. So that's interesting. It's interesting. So interesting to hear from Shane about that amp. It is, you know, a wicked beast. Okay, but I mean, what I'm looking at when I look inside that thing, it looks like old Mark Levinson. It looks like old Krell. It looks like old Gryphon. It doesn't look like anything new. Like those with the big bus bars and the big freaking capacitors and the bipolar outputs, probably your MOSFETs lined up on the side with two boards on each side and heat sinks on each side. Like that is old tech, man. And there's nothing that makes it $300,000. And and that makes it elite audio. It makes it only for the elite. And I'm sad about it. I'm sad. It sucks. If that were, it should be 125 grand. I would understand that. 120 grand for something like that. I was going to say, I don't even know the specs on it. But it doesn't matter. It's $300,000. You know what a sick audio system I could build you for $300,000? I could build you the most incredible. I'll bet you I could build you a system that sounds as good as what he heard. So that means you got $1 million audio system, whatever was in that country. You know, I can only imagine. I'm not going to go into this speculation. Okay. So, okay, we got that. Yo, David Gilden in the house. One of our musicians. Sorry, Marky 333 is a Gryphon, and so is the Apex. Yeah, I'm sure I'm clear about that. Oh, that's okay, Dave. No problem. I'll call you back, man. Good night. Good night, Dan. Great live stream. Thanks, man. I'm about ready to check out. I've heard it in a purpose-built listening room, in a dealer, in a well-built, acoustically treated room. Okay, cool. And you told us masterpiece is such a personal thing. That's right. You know, that's totally true because it means artwork, and art is very subjective. Dart Zeal. It's another cuckoo brand, right? Another one of those things that, yeah, you're part of an elite group, and it's just it's distressing to me. It's distressing to me because of what it represents. It's like and I can't get on board with it, and that's part of the reason why Gryphon bums me out. They've got an old school amplifier for $300,000. That's like. That bums me out. It's like, man, why you got to go and do that? You know, it's like, now you're those guys. Oh God, you're those guys. Okay. See ya. You know, I mean, that's kind of how I feel. It's just sad. My take on it, it's a refinement on all the things I didn't like about the earlier amplifiers. Okay. Well, you can have one for 300 grand. Still love the old chord stereo amp. Yep, that's cool. Oh, a lot of the old amps, they're great. They were good then, they're good now, but there's nothing different about them from when they were $15,000 for a monoblock that size. You know, they look like Cylons. That's exactly it, Charles. How do you know that? That's exactly what they look like. That's the exact one that I'm talking about. They look like Cylons. Tad's a beryllium. I know it's a late comment. No, okay, cool. So I know that Tad does beryllium really well. Thanks for pointing that out. Yeah, I can't remember the name of those. But you know what? Man, I'd be so hesitant, man. He would sell me those old amps, you know, because they're just sitting in a container. But after all these years, those caps are going to be just cooked from sitting in the heat in the container. I don't know if maybe the container's in climate controlled. They're massive. They're like 250 or 300 pounds each. The old Mark Levinsons were that. These were amps that were made to drive, Apogee scintillas, you know, shit that goes down to 1 ohm, you know. It sucks. I'd love to put some cool. I need to get. I want to get some big sick amps for these. I'm just gonna, you know, for the big. I think I need to get something more. It's stupid, but more expensive than the $30,000 I'd have for 2 Donizettis. But it might be a good way to show you guys. Someday I'm going to have to go to one of these shows. I'm going to go to a show and do a big room that has a big extravagant system and do the $100,000 rig and make it a point to show a $100,000 system that maybe I might have to go a little higher. I might have to go to 150 and do a $150,000 system that beats the $1 million rig. Maybe I got to kick them in the shorts and show. Maybe I got to show everybody. You know, that would be something that I would do. Just show how you don't need that stuff. I can do it for a lot less for you guys. You know, you can spend $100,000 and have a wicked world class. Now it'd have to be $150. I mean, we had one here for 75, but if I'm going to do a big room, I have to show up the big guys. I have to bring in 650-pound speakers. Made out of slate. I really got to do it big. I could do it, man. It's just so much work. And then for what? Just to big dick the other guys for half the price? Yes, exactly. So I don't know. Amps to weld metal with. Yeah, exactly. Yep. No love for horns. Yes, I do. I like Avant-Garde is out now for me. I used to really like Avant-Garde, but I couldn't. In Germany, I did not get a good feel for them. Oh wait, no. Yes, Avant-Garde. What was Acapella is the word I'm thinking of. Acapella I used to like. Those didn't do it for me. The Avant-Gardes, I like the Avant-Gardes. I need some time with them. I need some time with them in my own amps and my own DACs so I can hear what they're really about. But they're fun to you really see into the music. I like horns. I have some folded back horns. Now they're not folded back horns. They're single drivers. But yeah, man, I mean, horns are just kind of like, you know, it's Tweaksville. I'm kind of need to keep it chilled on that, man. So Mike, who has amps in storage? One of my clients has he bought all the quintessential. He's got 2 pairs of the Krell reference standard. Just look up Krell reference standard and see what it is. They're ridiculous. And he was like, yeah, I'll sell you some. I'm not doing anything with them. And then he's got, I can't remember the name of the Gryphons. But they're these massive Cylon, you know, looking. They're cool as hell looking. I love the old Gryphon. Looked so cool. The new ones have the triangle. That's all right. But I like the old ones, which were all rectangles. They look real blocky. They look like brutalism. It was really freaking cool art. The new ones, not so much. So one of my clients, Kemper Holt. What's up, Kemper? Good to see you, brother. Jeff has always been a genuine good person making great kit. We're talking the Jeff that just answered a little bit that said he wanted to go get sushi. What does he make? It would have to sound good, man. And in a hotel room, it's hard. Yeah, I know. I don't doubt you couldn't do it. I'm sure it would be kind of fun. Agreed on horns being Tweaksville. If done right, though, you can get a lot of performance that's hard to beat. Oh, for sure. I mean, horns do something that no other thing does. Plus, horns give you the ability to start playing with flea watt amplifiers and really just, I mean, you're down the rabbit hole, baby, swapping out tubes and just every little thing you hear, total change. And it's just like, I got to stay away from the crack, man. You know, it's bad for me. Gryphon Coliseum. I don't think they were called Coliseum. Let me see. I'm going to look real quick. And let's see if I can find an image real quick. Yeah, oh, man, they were so badass. They look so cool. That's so. Oh, there we're getting close. Yeah, reference 1. That's it, man. Gryphon reference 1. That's it. Let's see, 150 watt, true class A. Yeah, they're sick, man. Those are cool. Man, just big old fins, just sick old school design. I mean, those things are cool. Yeah, I would love to put them in. Oh, I love them, man. They've got a knob with the triangle on them. Like I have to turn this so you guys, I don't know if it's gonna tweak out if I turn it and point and wait. Okay, so how do I do this? I go here and then I go, let me see. I'm gonna add this to the screen so you guys can see. Let me see. Share screen. Okay, as easy as with 2 monitors. Okay, let me put this over here. This, like this. Whoops, where'd it go? Like that. Okay. Let me see. Okay, so here's what these babies look like. Look at those puppies. I mean, those things are sick, dude. I mean, that is, to me, that is just high level design. That is so cool. Oh, I love the purity of that design. Look at the rectangle with the circle just taking a piece of the rectangle out. If we zoom in on it, let's see if I can do that. I can't. You guys can see that this is a triangle in a circle. So that the dial is a circle and it's got the triangle in it. Oh, and then these offset colors like this dark color against that background. I mean, that is, to me, Jesus, I love that shit. Okay, now I'll bet their new amps are not that much different, but those things are so badass. And I would love to get them because they would be so fun to just have in there. They just look so cool and they would go with the Fischers really well. And I could just do the room in black and just, you could just do the coolest install with these things. It'd be so sick. But anyways, let's see. So those are those bad boys. Maybe I should call them up, man, and get them anyways. But I can't show them. I show them. I mean, I'd have to pull them out and in. I'd have to pull them in and out. I have to show things I can sell. I can't show things that I can't sell. But God, you could do a cool install with those things. I'm going to call him anyways. I'm going to see how much he'd sell them for. I can't help it. I can't help it. Look how cool they look, dude. Those things are, that is history, man. They're not going to make shit that looks like that anymore. It is of a certain time period. And those mofos were they were full tilt at that point. They were full tilt, kicking ass and taking names. The brands were. They were all, that was the pinnacle of hi-fi when that shit was made, man. And you can tell it. You just look at that and you're like, that is some high-ass level design. Now they're just like, they probably let AI do it or some shit. Make the triangle bigger, you know. It's just kind of like, doesn't have the same thing. Gryphon Antilleon. Antilleon is the one that you brought the name up that has more, that sounds more musical. Yes, reference 1. Yep, those are the ones. So sick. Oh yeah, the early good stuff. Yep. Okay, cool. Well, I got to run, you guys. It's 2 hours and 24 minutes. I got to get this show on the road. I'm going to sleep. Okay, guys, thanks for joining. I appreciate everybody. Love everybody. Thank you again for all of you that are watching, that have given me your business and your trust. It just keeps growing, and I thank you for that. And I do the best I can for you guys. So thanks. I will see you soon in Cali. Thanks for joining. See you.